grade? Welcome to the YouTube note channel. Okay, so we started the Middle Ages. We finished Rome. You guys have been doing a couple worksheets on feudalism and things like that. So what I did was I put together a rather large, extensive 75 slide PowerPoint. We're not going to go through all the slides. We're not going to go too in depth in a lot of the slides. But I wanted to put something kind of large together for you guys to give you guys a full understanding of the Middle Ages and what they are. Today we're just going to quickly go through the geography, and then I'm going to go through a brief explanation of the role of the church in the Middle Ages. Okay, again, the Middle Ages is from around the fall of Rome till around the beginning of the Renaissance, so circa like 500 AD to 1500 AD. Okay, and it takes place in Europe. I just want to quickly go through the geography. Some of you guys have issues with geography, so you guys don't. But let's just quickly go through this. This will be a quick video. All right, so if we're looking at Europe as a continent, okay, it's the second smallest continent on Earth. All right, it's separated from Asia by the Ural Mountains over here in the east. Okay, again, I'm not gonna go through everything. Okay, you guys know the Alps. Okay, Alps Alpine Mountains, because that is what separates Italy from the rest of Europe, and we read about that when we learned about Rome. Okay, valleys and slower slopes good for farming. They're gonna deforest a lot during this time period. A lot of Europe is deforested so that you can plant and farm. Okay, higher slopes of forests and meadows good for pasture land. Or you send your farm animals there. Okay, so again, when we're talking about Europe, we're talking about, follow my pointer, okay? This area here, okay? This is Russia, which is actually part of Europe and Asia. All right, don't worry about that because we're in the Middle Ages right now. All right, so there's three rivers, which are used for transportation and also using to fertilize the land, okay? Again, each chapter we've learned about any ancient civilization have a main river system. We're going to go back to the ancient civilizations. The reason I moved talking about the Middle Ages to now is it just kind of coincides with us ending with Rome. Okay, so I felt like it's flows a little better if we go from Rome to the Middle Ages rather than jumping to India and China, which I usually do in past years. We're just gonna do this for now. Okay, so three rivers, Rhine, okay, flows from the Alps, okay, to the North Sea. It kind of goes through. This is again, these are modern day countries. You didn't have these countries yet back then. Okay, primarily goes through Germany. Okay, and it's kind of a natural barrier. It's the backbone of the busiest system of waterways in Western Europe. Okay, this isn't the only river. All right, I have like a much more in-depth here. Okay, so you kind of see all of them here. Danube, which is the second longest main water around south central the area, which connects, if you look from the Black Sea, okay, and then it goes and flows through over to the Rhine, okay. And again, this slide is much better, this is the Volga River. Longest flows through Russia to the Caspian Sea. Canals connected to the Baltic Sea and Arctic Ocean. Okay, so that is here. Okay, Caspian Sea, and you move up, and these are the canals that are built that kind of connect it. Okay, now I like this picture better because it kind of shows you all the waterways. So again, Danube here, Black Sea, across through northern Greece. Okay, this is Greece, Macedonia, over to where the Rhine is. Okay, Rhine from the Alps here up to the North Sea. And there's a lot of other rivers you can see that kind of like go inland into the continent. They're going to kind of connect everyone. Okay, you have England and Ireland here. Don't worry about that. That's a Thames. That's important. London's right. London's right where my laser pointer is. Right. So again, quick. Just want to show you guys the river systems. We talked about how important the river systems are in ancient civilizations, kind of like the source of life. Okay, especially when you talk about the Nile and you talk about the Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia. All right, so again, rivers just as important here. So I'm just going to quickly talk about climate and landforms. So the Gulf Stream is a strong ocean current that carries warm water from the Gulf of Mexico to the western coast. This picture kind of depicts that better. This would be the Gulf Stream. Okay. Most of Europe has a mild climate, but different areas do have different climates. Okay, so the Atlantic coast, mild winters and cool summers. Southern Europe, hot and dry. So we're talking about Southern Europe, by the way. We're talking about here. Okay, so Italy, Greece, all right. Hot and dry summers, wet and mild winters. This area farmed too much, soil no longer good. Okay, one of the reasons they farm too much is again you have ancient Rome and you have ancient Greece. Okay, so they kind of overuse the land. Northwest mountain changes according to elevation. Okay, and then this is important because we talked about this before. Deforestation led to planting crops on fertile farmlands. Okay, so they're cutting down the forests that are in Europe. Europe was largely untouched. It wasn't very uh, populated prior to the fall. I mean, there were people there. You had Vikings, you had different civilizations, but they're very spread out. Rome starts to connect all of Europe, okay, with the Roman roads and this expanding of the empire. They start to connect everything, okay, and this we're going to start seeing towns and cities pop up around Europe. This is from the Roman Empire, okay. All right, now again, Gulf Stream. Just make sure you look over this, okay. Look over the notes. Sorry, not the notes. Look over the maps just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. Okay, you need to know where Europe is. All right, some of you guys don't. All right, so life in the Middle Ages. We're just going to quickly, I want to keep this under 10 minutes. We're just going to quickly talk about the role of the church, which the church is very important during this time for a multitude of reasons. One big reason I'm just going to give you guys is, again, it's all Middle Ages, also called the Dark Ages. Okay, you have the plague, you have years where it's actually a mini ice age. So people's lives are very short, and they all believe in God. They believe in the afterlife. So religion becomes very important to them because they want to do good for God because they want to make it to heaven. Okay, and there's a lot of other reasons, and we're going to go into that. And the Pope has a lot of power, and the Church has a lot of power during this time. Okay, again, if we were in class right now, I wouldn't be having you guys write these notes down. I have a simplified version of it, but I kind of just put this together through different kind of sources and made a big one for you guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through it. Most Europeans were Christians, some Jews or Muslims, but they primarily were some Muslims in Spain, but primarily they were in the East. Okay, showed devotion going on pilgrimage to Jerusalem, which is the holy city, or going to Rome. Rome was where the Pope is going to be. The Pope's actually going to move a couple times. We'll go into that a little. They built beautiful cathedrals with stained glass, which if you look over here, okay, which took decades to build by the townspeople. I'm going to go through the different types of architecture. It's Gothic and it's Romanesque. So I'll show you that actually in a couple slides. Monks lived in monasteries, devote their lives to religion. Okay, nuns lived in convents, devote their lives to Christianity. Monks and nuns helped care for the sick, helped the poor, and cultivated crops. They were also educated. They were also writers. They were the ones who would rewrite a lot of ancient Greek and ancient Roman texts into modern language and kind of save that for all of time. That's important. We're going to talk about that next slide. And then missionaries taught Christianity to people of other religions. Okay. Quickly move forward. Okay. Again, if I'm going fast, guys, you just pause, rewind, whatever you want to do. All right. Church. Catholic Church maintained law and order, kept warring nobles and knights under control, proclaimed the truths of God, forbade fighting from Thursday evenings to Monday mornings and on holy days. Any lord who broke truce was excommunicated, cut off from the church, and we're going to see a couple situations of this, and we're actually going to see them trying to get back into the church. We're going to see later on, this is after the Dark Ages, after the Middle Ages, you're going to see King Henry VIII actually break off England from the Catholic Church and start the Church of England. We're going to see Protestants, Protestant Reformation. You can see Martin Luther. There's a couple different situations of people breaking off from the Catholic Church because they felt that they had a little too much power, and we're going to talk about that. And it says, could punish all people of religious services, including baptism, marriages, and mass. Operated schools, hospitals, asylums, and orphanages. And the greatest contribution was its preservation of the culture of ancient Greeks and Romans through copying writings of these civilizations. And that's what, again, this would take years. You kind of see it over here. This is what they're doing. They would put it into modern, they would put it into Latin. Okay, so they would translate from ancient Greek and they would translate into Latin. A lot of the Roman was already Latin, but they would make newer copies. Because again, these transcripts are old, falling apart. So the monks and the priests and the nuns during this time period would rewrite it. Again, not everyone's literate. You have to remember that. There's only a small group of people who could actually read and write, and a majority of them are monks. Okay, so that's important. All right, I'm quickly just gonna show you the different types of buildings. Okay, um, this is one. This is what I want. Here we go. Okay, so this is Romanesque. Okay, this is Romanesque architecture. I have a sheet for you guys that will go a little more in depth into the difference between Romanesque and Gothic. But this is what a Romanesque church would look like. Okay, this is like a written drawing. Okay, this is an actual picture of one. If you go around and look at churches today, you can actually see some in the United States are built in this vein, and they look similar, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so Romanesque. All right, if you guys want to look it up, look a little more in depth. And here's Gothic. Okay, so Gothic, actually, example of Gothic. Okay, tall spires and pointed arches directed the eyes towards the heavens. Okay, you'd have to look up. Flying buttresses allowed fewer columns and more space inside. So an example is Notre Dame. Okay, so you go in, again, there's not a bunch of pillars. You walk in. I should have put a picture, but I don't have it. If you guys want to look yourself, you can look up some pictures of the insides of Gothic churches. Okay, they're pretty cool. They're beautiful. On a separate slide, I had like 50 pictures, and I kind of took them out just to make this a little simplified. But go look it up. I'll give you guys a worksheet. What we're going to talk about tomorrow is the feudal system, which you guys did in a worksheet. Okay, and we are going to kind of go over this tomorrow. All right. So that's it for today. Again, quick, simple. Make sure you just please go over the geography. I want you guys to have a sense of where you are in the world when you're learning about this. And just look into the different types of architecture for the buildings. Okay. And if you want to just pause on those church notes, do it. So you kind of like read into them. I know I'm moving fast, but I can't have this be a 20-minute video. It would take forever to upload. Okay. All right. Talk to you later.